Hi folks, so this lever right here is incredibly misunderstood, and usually by the people who think they know best. Because there's two camps of people. There's those that say you should always row on 6, and there's those that say you should never row on 10. And the fact is, both of them are entirely wrong. Why are they wrong? Well, because it doesn't take into any account the machine at all, alright? These numbers down the side mean nothing, absolutely nothing. What this lever does is just controls the amount of air that gets into the machine. The more air that gets in, the heavier the stroke feels. And what you really want to have is a standardized amount of air that gets into the machine so that every single time you sit down on a different Concept2, you get the same amount of weight that stroke feel, right? Get me? Cool. Right. The problem is dirt, all right? So most people that will say, oh, row on 6 are the people that own their own machines and it's nice and clean. And they probably are right, you row on 6. The ones that row up at 10, usually they don't have any idea how Concept2 works. But there are some people who, when they go to a gym that's absolutely filthy, dirtier than a, well, I'm not going to use any kind of example here, but it's absolutely filthy. And the fact is, they can't get enough air into the machine for it to feel heavy enough. In fact, there's a machine that I use at the gym, odd name, Springfield Quay in Glasgow, where if I go up to 10, I still don't get enough air into the machine, okay? I need it to go up to 11.
These go to 11.
In order to get enough air in there. And that's because the entire thing is filthy. Years of dirt, sweat, fear have gone into this machine, and therefore not enough air can now get in and it feels too light. So you go into a gym like that, then yes, you have to set it to max to get anywhere near. If you're one of these people that know this stuff and you know about drag factor, then the drag factor on the machine that I row on at the gym is 95 when I have the lever set to 10. That's just ridiculous. And so I keep on saying to them, please clean your machine. And they go, we don't know how to. So that's what the point of today's video is. I'm going to show you how to do a really quick clean of your machine. You can go a little bit more deeper if you want, but I'm going to show you the quick way to kind of clean the majority of the ook off your machine to try and help get that drag factor and the feeling of your stroke as it should be from machine to machine. And the secret here is this little screw. Can you see this tiny little screw right here? This is what you need. You don't have to start undoing the side of the machine yet unless you're absolutely filthy. For the time being, this is all you do. So Phillips screwdriver, look at the front and you should find that little Phillips crosshead screw. Undo that just a little bit, not loads, just a few turns. And what you should find is that you can now, let's drop that because it's making a noise. You can slip this back around a bit, okay? And that gives you a better idea of the screw that I'm trying to go. So you're looking for something that looks like this, all right? Once you have unscrewed it a little bit, what you can do is just push them a little, squeeze them together a little bit, and then that pops out. I hope that made sense. Hope you saw what I did there, okay? So all I did was squeeze them a little bit closer together, and that popped out. And ta-da, right? So this comes apart. Then what you want to do is release this mesh from the machine. So this takes a little bit of a jiggery-pokery to get it done. Push the top part down, and it'll come out, and then slide this part through, da-da-da, and it'll come out. Okay, then it comes through the bottom. Okay, now this long meshy part is the part that gets the dirtiest. All these tiny little holes in the mesh eventually fill up with dust. In fact, if I just rub my thumb across the top of this, all the way down to the bottom, I only cleaned this a couple of months ago, and already this huge dust bunny has come off just by me rubbing my thumb across the mesh. So what you want to do is give this a clean. Now you can use soapy water and whatever, but make sure to dry it, and if you are going to dry it, don't dry it with a fluffy towel. What's the point of that? You're just going to put fluff straight back into the holes again. And the good thing is you can look through all the tiny little holes, and you can see if any of them are clogged up still, and then you can give a good idea that there's still some dust on it. So I've got, and then once it's clean, before you put it on, just have a quick look, okay? So for the time being, just look at the fan blades. You can kind of look down from the top, look inside, and see if any of the fan blades themselves are caked with dirt. The machine I used to use, you remember the grey one I used to row on? That, when I first got it, oh my word, it was like the Sahara Desert inside here, okay? So I had to kind of get in there and very, very, very carefully clean each of the blades with soapy water and chip off all this caked on dirt. But the problem is that there are these little tiny counterweights in here to make sure that the fan moves properly. So if you're a little bit too hashy with it, bad idea, because you could end up kind of really causing issues with your machine. So if it's absolutely filthy and you have to do that, be very careful. So have a cheeky sneaky peek inside your machine, make sure that it's not absolutely caked in dirt. Luckily this is a relatively new machine, so it's not that bad, I don't have to do anything. And then it's just a case of putting your mesh back on the machine, which is a tiny bit tougher because you're doing things in reverse order underneath the machine. And if you've got a camera rolling on you, it's even tougher because you have to stay in frame. But there you go. So first thing to do is just look underneath the machine. You'll see the gap where the mesh will thread back through again. Remember, you're putting it underneath all of the little plastic coupling bits, okay? So here we go. If you see any extra little bits of dust as you're doing this, then make sure and clean them off. Okay, and then slide them through again. It goes nice and easy. You just need to kind of help guide this thing through, okay? You don't have to force it. You just help it go through. Okay, so it wants to go through, I promise you. Okay, so just give it a little bit more here. There we go. Okay, so I've got this bit coming out here, and then I'm going to send the bottom part up to the top. Ta-da! Okay, and then what to do is just snap them together here first, when it's in this position. So that screw comes up, and then locks, so in place. Okay, and you can see it's all locked in here. And then don't tighten it yet, okay? You want to do the opposite of what you did before, which is slide it back round so that it hides, like that, like a wee rabbit. It's hidden away, okay? So you can't see it anymore, and it's much more aesthetically pleasing this way. Then hold on to the mesh just to make sure it doesn't slip while you're doing this, and then just tighten up that screw again, just to keep it from spinning round and things. Doesn't have to be too tight, of course. You're not trying to kind of clamp everything down. And that's it. That's you cleaned the majority of the problems with the machine, okay? So any gym that's out there, any HYROX gym, any CrossFit box, anyone that has a machine, all you need is a Phillips screwdriver and what, 3 minutes worth of patience, plus however long it takes to be able to clean the thing, and you will dramatically increase the machine's capacity to give you a good workout. And of course, I can't make a video like this and not talk about drag factor. Drag factor is the number that this gubbins gives to the weight of the stroke, okay? The amount of air that comes in and how it feels. So if you can have the same drag factor on this machine as one in London, as one in New York, and as one in Australia, then all of them are gonna feel the same in terms of the weight of the stroke. So in that case, what you do is you go to main menu, more options, display drag factor, and then you row a few strokes, and it will give you that number. Where do you set it? Well, most people will recommend round about 130. And so that's what I'll say too. Set it to 130 and then you can adjust from that point. But here's the trick. What you do is anytime you sit down on a new machine that looks a little bit filthy and dirty, set the lever to 10 and take a few strokes, right? If, like the rubbishy machine that I've used at the gym in Glasgow, it says only 95, then you have a filthy machine and you go running straight to the manager and say, I'm not paying you a penny more until you clean your machine, all right? If you set the lever up to 10 and it gives you a drag factor of around about 220, bonza, that's kind of round about the same as a new machine. And then we can start talking about setting your lever to 5 for the best kind of workout. Because if you set the lever on a clean machine to 5, you're going to get round about 130 drag factor. Rock on. And that means that all the people who are training for something like HYROX and are just going, oh, I've got to set a lever to 6, then if you've got a clean machine, great, that's what to do. But if you don't have a clean machine and you're rowing on a lever of 6, because that's what the stupid rule book in HYROX says, then, sorry HYROX people, I don't want to call you stupid, it's your rule book that's stupid, then you're under training, okay? HYROX people that set your lever to 6, set it to 10 first, and it'll take a look at your drag factor. If your drag factor at 10 is not showing you 220-ish, then when it comes to rowing on 6, you're going to be under rowing. So what I want you to do is, if you are a woman rower with a preset lever of 5, I want you to set your drag factor to around 130. If you are a male open or a pro woman with a preset lever of 6, I want you to set it to between 140 and 150. And if you're a pro man with a preset lever of 7, I want you to set it between 160 and 170. Regardless of the lever position, okay? It's not 5, 6, or 7. Set your drag factor to the ranges on screen in training to match the machine on the race floor. Ignore this, all right? And everybody stop telling people to row at 6 or 5, and stop telling people not to row at 10, because there are some people out there that have to row at 10 because they have stupid gym owners that don't clean their machines, all right? End rant.